Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is on November 20th, 2023. It's on Monday and sunny outside. How are you spending Monday? How do you like Monday? Do you have a work or school today? Or have you already finished working or studying? I am not good at getting up early. I'm not either. Me neither. Neither am I. I am not used to getting up early. I'm not either. I cannot get used to getting up early. I cannot either. I still cannot overcome the pressure that I feel before the performance. I cannot either. I cannot either. I still cannot get over the pressure and nervousness I get before my performance. I cannot either. I cannot either. I still cannot conquer the fear, pressure, and nervousness that I get just before my performance. I cannot either. I usually don't have appetite in the morning. I don't either. I sometimes forego breakfast. Me too. So do so do I. I didn't take the lesson this time. I didn't either. I often cannot concentrate on my study after eating lunch. I cannot either. I will not join the party. I will not either. I won't either. I will not devote all of my life to the work. I won't either. I am not used to getting up early. Getting up early. Neither am I. I am not used to getting up early. Neither am I. I am not used to getting up early. Neither am I. I cannot afford to buy luxury goods. Neither can I. I cannot afford buying such luxury goods. I cannot afford buying such luxury goods. Neither can I. I often cannot focus myself on duty or study after eating lunch. Neither can I. I couldn't sleep well last night. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep enough last night. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep enough last night. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep enough last night for a reason. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep well last night. I couldn't sleep well last night. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep well last night. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep well last night. Neither could I. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep well last night. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep last night. Neither could I. I won't devote myself to the work which I am not interested in. I won't either. Neither will I. Neither will I. I will not work. I will not work on the duties which I don't have the interest in. Neither will I. I won't devote myself to the duties which I am not interested in. Neither will I. 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 The artist is not going to appear on the singing contest, which is aired every end of the year. Neither will the artist. The singer A is not going to show up at the singing contest divided into red team and white team for a reason. Neither will the singer B. The person A was laid off, fired for a reason. So did person B. So was person B. Person B too. I still cannot understand the meaning of the theory. Neither can I. Neither can I. Neither can I. Neither can I. I still don't forget what you have said. I still don't forget what you said to me. Neither do I. I cannot afford buying such luxury goods. Neither can I. I cannot afford to buy such luxury goods. Neither can I. I cannot forget the horrible situation where I experienced when I was a child. Neither can I. If I hit the lottery, I will not use the money on gambling. Neither will I. Me neither. He is not going to the party. This evening. Neither am I. Me neither. I couldn't finish all of the menu served. All of the menu. Neither could I. I couldn't finish all of the food served in the menu in the restaurant. Neither could I. I couldn't either. Me neither. The restaurant is well known for large volume of the menu. Large volume of menu. So every customer is surprised at the large volume when it is served. I didn't study enough yesterday. Neither did I. Neither did I. I couldn't sleep well last night. Neither could I. I couldn't sleep well last night. Neither could I. Me neither. Me neither. Neither could I. I didn't study well when I was a kid. Neither did I. Me neither. I don't play video games at all, although I used to. Neither do I. Neither do I. Me neither. Me neither. Me neither. Me neither. Me neither. Although I used to play video games for a long time, I rarely play video games now. Me neither. Neither do I. Neither do I. Although I used to play video games for a long time when I was a kid, I seldom if ever play video games. I seldom if ever play video games. I rarely if ever play video games. Neither do I. Me neither. I rarely if ever play video games. I seldom if ever play video games. I rarely if ever play video games. I rarely play video games. Neither do I. Me neither. Rarely. Rarely. I rarely if ever play video games. I rarely if ever play video games. Rarely. I rarely if ever play video games. I rarely if ever play video games. I rarely if ever play video games. Rarely, rarely. I rarely play video games. Neither do I. Me neither. Neither do I. Me neither. Hardly anybody has the same common as me. Hardly anyone has the same interest as mine. I sometimes finish with talking hardly anybody. A day on occasion finishes by talking to hardly anyone. There were hardly anyone in the tourist spot very early in the morning. There were hardly any children in the park during the rain. Usually the park is vibrant with kids playing balls. Hardly anyone reached the level Hardly anyone reaches the level. Hardly anybody reaches the level. Hardly anyone reaches the level. Hardly anybody reaches the level. Reaches the level. Hardly anyone reaches the level. Reaches the level. Hardly anyone reaches the level. Hardly anyone reaches the level. Hardly anybody reaches the level. Hardly anyone reaches the level. Hardly anybody can understand the theory. Hardly anyone can understand the theory. I am certain that hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. I am sure that hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. I am sure that hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. I am sure that hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. I am sure that hardly anybody will agree to my proposals. I am certain that hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. I am sure that hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. I am certain that hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. I am certain that hardly anybody will agree to my proposals. Hardly anybody supports my crazy ideas, challenges, attempts. Hardly anyone supports my crazy challenges, ideas, proposals, suggestions, and so on. There are hardly anybody who can understand, comprehend, apprehend, figure out, find out the theory. There are hardly anybody who can comprehend the theory. Hardly anybody can solve the difficult math problems. Hardly anyone can understand the math problems, theory of the physics. Hardly anybody can understand and solve the math problems. Hardly anyone can solve the math problems. Hardly anyone can solve the math problems. Hardly anyone can solve the math problems. Hardly anybody can solve the math problems. Hardly anyone can solve the math problems. Hardly anyone can solve the math problems. Hardly anyone can solve the math problems. There are hardly anyone who are playing in the park during the rain last night. There are hardly anyone who can keep doing one thing forever, perpetually, eternally, for good. There are hardly anybody who can withstand the hard training. There are hardly anyone who can put up with hard training until the end. There are hardly anybody. There is hardly anybody. There is hardly anybody who can endure the hard training. There is hardly anybody who can stand the hard training till the end. There is hardly anybody who can put up with the hard training till the end. Some people seldom if ever smile, while others do. Some people rarely if ever smile, rarely if ever smile. I rarely if ever leave food on the menu served. I rarely if ever leave food on the served menu. I rarely if ever leave food on the served menu. The pianist rarely if ever make a mistake. The violinist rarely if ever makes a mistake. The elite seldom if ever makes a mistake. The elite person rarely if ever makes a mistake. The elite makes rarely if ever makes a mistake. The elite rarely if ever makes a mistake. The elite rarely make a mistakes. The elite rarely if ever makes a mistake. The elite rarely 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 makes a mistake. The elite seldom if ever makes a mistake. Five-storied pagoda. I hardly ever eat out. I scarcely ever eat out. I scarcely eat out. I scarcely ever eat out. I hardly ever eat out. Temperature hardly ever goes under 0 degrees Celsius. 0 degrees Celsius in the region. Temperature hardly ever goes under 10 degrees Celsius in the region. Temperature hardly ever goes under 10 degrees Celsius in the region. Temperature scarcely ever goes under 10 degrees Celsius in the region. My pet dog hardly ever barks at a stranger. My pet dog scarcely ever barks at a stranger. The prefecture hardly ever gets snow. The prefecture scarcely ever gets snowy. The prefecture scarcely ever gets snowy. The prefecture scarcely ever gets snowy. The prefecture or the region hardly ever gets snowy. The prefecture hardly ever gets snowy. The prefecture hardly ever gets snowy. The prefecture scarcely ever snowy. The prefecture scarcely ever gets snowy. The prefecture hardly ever gets snowy. The prefecture hardly ever gets snowy. There is hardly any money in my wallet. There is hardly any water in the bottle. There is hardly any water in the bottle. There is hardly any money in my bank account. Could you help me? Could you help me increase that? Could you help me increase that? Could you help me to increase that? If possible, I'd like to earn money from YouTube videos. So could you help me increase that? There is scarcely any money in my wallet. There is scarcely any money in my bank account. Could you help me increase that? There is scarcely any money in my wallet. There is scarcely any money in my wallet. There is scarcely any money in my wallet. There is scarcely any money in my bank account. In my bank account. There is scarcely any money in my bank account. There is scarcely any money in my bank account. There is scarcely any money in my bank account. There is scarcely any money in my bank account. There is scarcely any money in my bank account. Could you help me increase that? Could you help me increase that? There is scarcely any water in the bottle. There are scarcely any children playing in the park today. Maybe because of the coldness. Although there was hardly any hope or possibility, I took a chance and won the opportunity. Although there was hardly any possibility or potentiality, I challenged it and won. Hardly any people will agree to my proposals. There was hardly any food in my fridge, so I went shopping. Although it was already 11 o'clock p.m., for there was hardly any food in my fridge For there was hardly any food in my refrigerator. For there was hardly any food in my refrigerator. For there was hardly any food in my refrigerator. For there was hardly any food in my refrigerator. The prefecture has hardly any snow even in winter. The prefecture has hardly any snow even in winter. The prefecture scarcely any snow even in winter. There is hardly any food in my refrigerator. 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 There is scarcely any food in my refrigerator. Since there were hardly any things to do, I was just using a smartphone at the bench for more than 30 minutes. Since there were hardly any things to do, I was just hanging around the city, which was fun though. Since there were scarcely any things to do, I was just hanging around, or just took a stroll. Just took a stroll. Hardly any songs were impressive enough to make him satisfied. Hardly any pieces are good enough to make him impressed. Hardly any songs are good enough to make him touched, moved. I could eat hardly any food this morning. I could eat scarcely any food this morning. I could eat scarcely any food in this morning. I could have scarcely any sleep last night. I could have hardly any sleep last night. Neither could I. The day finished without talking with anybody else. The day finished by talking with hardly anybody, hardly anyone. I'm sure that hardly anyone will agree to my crazy ideas. I'm confident that hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. There is hardly any money in my wallet. There is hardly any money in my bank account. Could you help me increase that? Could you help me increase that? Could you help me to increase that? There are hardly any passengers on the last train. There were hardly any passengers on the earliest train. There were hardly any passengers on the earliest train. There were hardly any passengers on the earliest train. There were hardly any passengers on the earliest train. There were hardly any passengers on the earliest train. There were hardly any passengers on the earliest train. There were hardly any passengers on the earliest train, which made me comfortable, and I could have much room to sit on, and which was very spacious and both mentally and physically relaxed. I could relax both mentally and physically, taking up much space in the spacious room. There were hardly any passengers on the earliest train, departing from the station at 4:30 a.m. There were scarcely any passengers on the earliest train departing from the airport at 4:30 a.m. Will you go on a foreign trip this end of the year? No. And nor will my cousins. Will you go on a foreign trip this end of the year? No, and nor will my cousins. Are you going to buy the new version of the product? No. And nor will my friends. I still haven't recovered from the cold I caught last week. I haven't either. Neither have I. Nor have I. Me neither. Me neither. Nor have I. Nor have I. Nor have I. I still haven't recovered from the sick I caught. I came down with 2 weeks ago. Nor have I. Nor have I. Neither have I. Neither have I. Nor have I. Neither 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 have I. I still haven't recovered from the disease I came down with 3 weeks ago. Nor have I. Neither have I. Me neither. I often cannot focus myself on duty after eating lunch. Nor can I. Nor can I. Nor can I. nor can I, nor can I, neither 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 can I, nor can I. I am not used to getting up early in the morning. Nor am I. Neither am I. Nor am I. I am not used to getting up early in the morning. Nor am I. Nor am I. Nor am I. I am not used to getting up early in the morning. Nor am I. Nor am I. I am not used to getting up early in the morning. Nor am I. Nor am I. Neither am I. Nor am I. Me neither. The food fighter failed to eat all of the served menu within the limited time. Nor did food fighter B. Nor did food fighter B. The food fighter A failed to eat all of the served menu within the limited time. Nor did food fighter B. The food fighter A failed to eat all of the menu within the limited time. Nor did food fighter B. Nor did food fighter B. Neither did food fighter B. I couldn't sleep enough last night, nor could I. I don't have much money, nor have I. Nor do I. Nor do I. Neither do I. I don't have much money. Nor do I. Nor do I. I have little money. Nor do I. I have little money. I have little money. Nor do I. Nor do I. Nor do I. Nor do I. Neither do I. Nor do I. I couldn't decide which to choose and which course I should take before I graduated from high school. Nor could I, neither could I. I couldn't decide which course I should take and which career I should choose before I graduated from university. Neither could I, nor could I, nor could I, nor could I, nor could I. I couldn't meet everyone's expectations on the attempt, nor could I. I couldn't meet everyone's expectations on some attempts, nor could I, neither could I, neither could I. Do you also feel hungry soon after eating lunch or dinner. Occasionally, I feel hungry soon after eating lunch or dinner. When it is high tide, the water comes just after the pavilion, just over the pavilion, just under the pavilion. When it is high tide, the water comes just under the pavilion, just under the pavilion. When it is high tide, the water comes just under the pavilion. I got an emergency call soon after I got home. Sorry for such a short notice, but I'd like to have a word with you in private. I'd like a word in private with you. Can we? Please turn left just after the convenience store. Please turn right just after the convenience store. Please turn left immediately after the convenience store. Please attempt to arrive at the international airport at least 2 hours prior to the departure time. Please strive to arrive at the airport at least 2 hours prior to the departure time. 2 hours before the departure time. 2 hours earlier than departure time. Two hours ahead of the departure time. Make sure to wash your hands before eating. Be sure to wash your hands before eating. Make sure to wash your hands before eating. Okay? There were some students who brought all of the textbooks close at hand every day. I saw some students bringing all of the textbooks close at hand. Do you have textbooks close at hand all the time? In order to make the duty efficient, I put everything close at hand. I put all of the tools close at hand for convenience. In order to make my duty efficient, I put everything close at hand. Turn right, turn right. Soon after the hospital. Turn left soon after the hospital. Turn left soon after the hospital. Turn left immediately after the hospital. Turn left immediately after the hospital. Turn right at the third intersection. Turn right at the intersection. He finally showed up 20 minutes after the promised time. She finally showed up 25 minutes after the promised time. He finally turned up 30 minutes later. 30 minutes after our promised time. It began to rain. Immediately after I stepped outside. Do you occasionally feel hungry immediately after eating lunch or dinner? To my surprise, the more I eat the fried chicken, the more I get hungry. To my surprise, the more I eat the fried chicken, the more I get hungry. Meaning the fried chicken is so tasty, yummy, delicious. I usually seek to arrive at the destination a couple of minutes before the decided time. I usually look to arrive at the destination a couple of minutes before the decided time, for fear that I bother others, in case I should bother others, lest I should bother others. When it is high tide, the water comes just under the pavilion. I walked on the transparent floor set up on the observatory of the tower, and the scenery looked just under my feet. I walked on the transparent floor set up on the observatory of the tower. The scenery looked just under my feet. I felt like I was dropping. I felt like I was dropping. And I also, of course, wondered if I dropped. I wondered if I had dropped. What would have happened? I dream of staying in a hotel room just in front of the ocean. I dream of staying in a hotel room just in front of the ocean, beautiful ocean. I dream of staying in a hotel room just in front of the beautiful ocean. I wish I were rich enough to be able to buy luxury goods without hesitation. I wish I were rich enough to be able to buy anything without hesitation. I usually arrive at the destination much earlier enough to be able to prepare for something. I usually arrive at the destination early enough to prepare for something. I usually arrive at the destination early enough to be able to prepare for something. I usually do my best too much enough to develop a disease. I occasionally do my best too much enough to develop a disease. I occasionally do my best too much enough to catch a cold. I usually immerse myself into something too much enough to develop a disease. I occasionally devote myself to something I am interested in enough to get sick. I stayed up late at night enough to get sick. I trained my body too much enough to have a pain muscle later. I trained my body too much enough to have muscle pain later. I trained my body too much enough to have muscle pain later. I was so tired enough to fall asleep within 5 minutes after getting into the bed. I was so exhausted enough to fall asleep within 3 minutes after going into the bed. I was so exhausted enough to fall asleep within 2 minutes after entering the bed. I was so hungry enough to order 2 sets of the menu. I was so hungry enough to order 6 hamburgers. My friend drove his car so fast enough to make me sick. The diner ate a lot of food, enough to make the chef astonished. My friend drove his car so fast, enough to make me motion sick. My friend drove his car so fast, enough to make me motion sick. My friend drove his car so fast, enough to make me motion sick. The diner ate a lot of food, enough to make the cook surprised. The diner ate a lot of food, enough to make the cook stunned. The diner ate a lot of menu, enough to make the cook astonished. The person A had never played baseball, but he still showed great talent in it. Although the kid had never played baseball before, but he still showed great talent of it. Although it was snowing so much outside, we played balls outside. We still played balls outside, which was very fun. Although it was snowing so heavily outside, but we still played balls outside. Although it was snowing so heavily outside, but yet we played balls outside. Though it was snowing so heavily, we still played balls outside. Although it was snowing so heavily outside, but we still enjoyed ourselves playing baseballs outside. The athlete had a 10-year blank in his career, but he still showed very great performance at the track and field. The track and field athlete had a 10-year blank, but he still showed great performance in the 100-meter run. He was as great as before. The track and field athlete had a 10-year blank, but yet he showed great performance at the 100-meter run. He was as great as before. I failed the examination more than 7 times, but I still didn't give up and achieved my goal. Although I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but yet I never gave it up. I never gave up and passed it after 7 times trial. Although I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but I still didn't give up and passed it after the eighth try. Hmm. Eighth attempt. Hmm. Although I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but I still didn't give up and finally passed it after the eighth attempt. Although I failed the examination, I failed the examination. Although I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but I still didn't give up and passed it after the eighth attempt. I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but I still didn't give up and passed it after the eighth trial attempt challenge. I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but I still didn't give up and passed it after the eighth trial challenge attempt. I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but yet I didn't give up and finally passed it after the eighth challenge. I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but yet I still did. But yet I didn't give up and passed it after the eighth challenge. It was snowing so heavily outside, but we still enjoyed ourselves playing baseball outside. It was so cold a day yesterday, but some people were still with half half-sleeved t-shirt. It was so cold a day yesterday, but yeah, some people were only with half-sleeved t-shirt. Half-sleeved t-shirt. It was so cold yesterday, but yet some people were only with half-sleeved t-shirt. But yet some people were with half-sleeved t-shirt, half-sleeved shirt, half-sleeved shirt. Half-sleeved shirt. The merchandises produced in the company are so expensive, but yet they are selling very well for some reasons. The merchandises produced from the company are so expensive, but they are still are selling very well. Some products sold out there have very bad cost performance, but yet some people buy it. But some people still buy them. Some products have very bad cost performance, but some people still buy them. It was already 0 o'clock a.m. But my cousin went to a restaurant to eat food along with me. It was already 0 o'clock 30 a.m. But I still went to a restaurant to eat a bowl of rice topped with fried chicken, minced cabbage, mayonnaise, and so on. Because I was hungry. Since I was hungry. It was 2 o'clock a.m., but I was still so hungry, so I cooked a bowl of rice topped with beef, chopped cabbage, mayonnaise, and so on. It was 2 o'clock a.m., but yet I got into insomnia and couldn't sleep. Neither could I, nor could I. It was already 2 o'clock a.m., but yet I couldn't sleep. I couldn't feel sleepy at all. Neither could I, nor could I, nor could I. It was already 2 o'clock a.m. I failed the examination 7 times in a row. But yet, I didn't give up, and I finally passed it after the 8th trial, attempt, challenge. I failed the examination 7 times in a row, but I still didn't give up, and finally passed it after the 8th attempt. My friend drove so fast for me to get the time to eat food. The noise coming from outside was too noisy for me to study. And the product I wanted to buy was too expensive for me to buy. ¥1,000,000 is too much for me to carry. 1,000,000 yen is too much for me to carry. ¥1,000,000 is too much for me to carry. 1,000,000 yen is too much for me to carry. 1,000,000 yen is too much for me to carry. 10,000 yen is too much for a kid to carry. 20 degrees Celsius is too cold for me to swim in the sea. 4:30 a.m. is too early for me to get up. 4:30 a.m. is too early for me to get up. 4:30 a.m. is too early for me to get up. Eight hours is too long for some people to study. 8 hours is too long for some people to study. 8 hours is too long for some people to study. 8 hours is too long for some people to study. Hmm. 1 million yen is too much for me to carry. 200,000 yen is too much for me to pay for 1 day at the hotel. 200,000 yen is too much for me to pay for overnight. 200,000 yen is too much for me to pay at the hotel for 1 night. 200,000 yen is too much for me to pay at the hotel. I wish I were rich enough to be able to pay any amount of money without hesitation. There is hardly anybody who can understand my proposals, way of thinking, point of view, viewpoints, standpoints. There is hardly anyone who can comprehend my standpoints, viewpoints, point of view. There is hardly anyone who can make heads or tails of my standpoint, viewpoint, point of view. I'm sure hardly anybody will agree to my proposals. I am sure hardly anyone will agree to my proposals. The day finished by talking with hardly anybody. The day finished by with talking hardly anybody. The day finished by talking with hardly anybody, hardly anyone. Hardly anyone has a common sense with me. Hardly anyone has a common Hardly anybody has the same things in common with me. Hardly anyone has things in common as mine. Hardly anyone has things in common with me. Hardly anyone has things in common with me. Hardly anyone has things in common with me. There was hardly any children. There were hardly any children in the park during the typhoon. There was hardly anybody in the tourist spot early in the morning. There was hardly anyone in the tourist spot very early in the morning. There was hardly anybody in the tourist spot. Early in the morning, there was hardly anyone in the tourist spot. Hardly anybody can reach the level. Hardly anybody can reach the level. Hardly anybody can reach the level. Hardly anyone can reach the level. Hardly anyone can reach the level. Hardly anybody can reach the level. Hardly anyone can reach the level. Hardly anybody can reach the level. Hardly anyone can reach the level. Hardly anyone can achieve such a feat. Hardly anybody can achieve such a feat. I took the course. Hardly anyone does. I'm taking the course. Hardly anybody does. I am taking the course. Hardly anyone does. I've been taking the course. Hardly anybody does. I've been taking the course. Hardly anyone does. There was hardly anybody in the office when I got. There was hardly anybody in the office when I left. There was hardly anyone in the office when I left. There is hardly anybody who can understand me. There is hardly anybody who has things in common with me. There is scarcely anybody. There is hardly anyone who has things in common with me. There is hardly anybody who has things in common with me. There is hardly anybody who has things in common with me. Hardly anybody could see through the celebrity in disguise. Hardly anyone could see through the celebrity in disguise. Hardly anyone could see through the celebrity in disguise. Hardly anyone could see through the celebrity in disguise. Hardly anyone could see through the celebrity through in disguise. Hardly anybody could see through the celebrity in disguise. Hardly anybody can make heads or tails of the theory. Hardly anybody can apprehend, figure out the theory. Hardly anybody can understand the theory. I am sure hardly any people can understand me. I'm confident that hardly any people will agree with me. There is hardly any water in the bottle. Hardly any water was left in the bottle. Hardly any money was left in my wallet. Hardly any students were studying by 7 o'clock p.m. in the class. There were hardly any children playing in the ground during the rain. There were hardly any students studying until 8 o'clock p.m. at the class. There was hardly any water in the bottle. There is hardly any money in my bank account. Could you help me increase that? There is hardly any money in my bank account. Could you help me increase that? As soon as the wild deer made eye contact with me, it darted away. The moment the wild deer made an eye contact with me, it darted away. The instant the wild deer made an eye contact with me, it darted away from me. The speed of him darting away from the frog looked faster than his attempt at the track and field competition. The speed of his running, darting away from the snake, looked faster than his attempt at the competition. Dart away, dart away, dart away. Don't dart away when you are faced with difficulties. You can get over it. You can get it over. You can go it over. You can overcome it. You can conquer it. Even if you are confronted with difficulties, don't dart away from them. You can get it over. You can go it over. You can jump it over. You can hit it over. You can overcome it. You can conquer it. As soon as the wild deer made an eye contact with me, it darted away. It darted away. It darted away. As soon as the squirrel got the food from me, it darted away. As soon as the wild squirrel got food from me, it darted away. As soon as the squirrel got food from me, it darted away. It darted away. Darted away. Darted away. It darted away. It darted away. It darted away. As soon as the wild squirrel got food from me, it darted away. As soon as the wild squirrel got food from me, it darted away. As soon as the wild squirrel got food from me, it darted away. As soon as the wild squirrel got food from me, it darted away. As soon as the wild squirrel got food from me, it darted away. The deer was seen darting away from its enemy. I sometimes come across a wild cat darting away from somebody. As soon as the wild cat made an eye contact with me, it darted away. The instant the wild cat made an eye contact with me, it darted away. When the beautiful sea came into view, I was impressed. I still remember the impression. When the beautiful beaches of Okinawa came into view from the airplane, I got impressed. I was impressed with the beauty. I still remember. I still remember. The nearer we approached the destination, the clearer the tower came into view. The closer we approached the tower, the clearer it came into view. The closer we approached the destination, the clearer it came into view. It clearer came into view. The closer I approached the tower, the clearer it came into view. When the Mount Fuji came into view from Shinkansen or the bullet train, I was impressed with it. I was impressed with the beauty of the Mount Fuji covered with snow, with the top covered with snow, with the top covered with snow. I still remember the impression of Mount Fuji seen from Shinkansen Super Express train. At first, passing grade 1 of the test, far from possible, considering my level. But the more I studied, the closer it came into view. At first, passing the grade 1 of the test, anything but possible. But the more I studied, the closer it came into view. As we approached the tower, the clearer it came into view. The tower still doesn't come into view. Even with the total height of the tower, it still doesn't come into view, but it will soon. Even with the height of 634 meters, it does not come into view from far place. As far as like 500 kilometers. Even with the height of 634 meters, it cannot come into view from the other end of the Earth, from the other end of the earth. Even with the height of 3,776 meters, Mount Fuji cannot come into view from the other end of the earth because the earth is circle. Round, because the earth is round. If the earth were flat, Mount Fuji could be seen from a distance, from the other end of the earth. I don't know. I still remember the good impression when the beautiful beaches of Okinawa came into view from the plane. I still remember the memorable situation when the beautiful beaches of Okinawa came into view from the plane. The color was like blue-green, very different from the ones of where I live. I still remember the good impression when the beautiful beaches of Okinawa came into view from the plane. At first, passing the grade 1 of the test was more than a dream. But as I studied more, the closer it came into view, ending up passing it. The closer we approached the tower, the clearer the tower came into view. The closer we approached the tower, the clearer it came into view. The closer we approached the tower, the clearer it came into view. The closer we approached the tower, the clearer it came into view. I will prepare for the getting off when the scenery of the town comes into view. I will prepare when the scenery of the city comes into view from the ship. I will prepare for the getting off when the scenery of the city comes into view from the ferry. Some of my relatives own a shop. Some of my friends didn't have a job hunting after graduating from universities. Do you check the ingredients of the product before you buy it? Do you usually check the ingredients of the product before you buy it? Do you usually check the ingredients before you buy a product? Excuse me, I'd like to ask about the ingredients of the product. Does it include steroid? Does it include steroid? Because I'd like to avoid it. I'd like to ask about the ingredients of the product. Does it include caffeine? I'm searching for tea without caffeine so that I can sleep at night. I'm, excuse me, I'd like to ask about the ingredients of the drink. Does it include caffeine? And I'm searching for tea without caffeine in order that I can sleep at night. I'm super sensitive to caffeine or other chemicals, so that's why. Relationship with people can lead to harmful one, depending on the situation with time. Human relationships can lead to harmful one. Human relationships can lead to harmful one. Party and socializing are anything but nothing but harmfulness to those who stay alone. Participating in the party and other events is nothing but harmfulness to those who prefer to be alone. Which food should I take to get enough nutrition? Which food should I take every day to get enough nutrition? Nutrition. Nutrition. What food should I take to get enough nutrition? The motivation to wanna work on the certain subject every day is a vital feature if you wanna achieve something great. The motivation wanting to work on a particular subject every day is the feature that you should have if you want to achieve breakthrough. What is a vital part of the things if I want to achieve breakthrough? Being appreciative to everything is a vital element to be satisfied. One of the vital elements to feel satisfied is to grateful of the things you've got from others. The vital elements of feeling happy or satisfied is to have the feeling of appreciation. The vital elements of being satisfied and feel happy is to have the feeling of appreciation. Do you remember the days when you were an infant? Do you remember something when you were an infant? Do you remember something when you were an infant? Do you remember something when you were an infant? Do you remember something when you were an infant? Some public transportations allow infants to board trains or ferries for free. Some public transportations allow infants to board free. Some public transportations allow infants to take for free on condition. Some public transportations allow infants to take for free. Some public transportations allow infants to board them for free. Limiting everything moderate is the key. Everything will get worse if it's beyond the limitation. So keep everything moderate. Keep everything moderate. If you exercise too much beyond the limitation, you will suffer. You will have to pay the cost later. So keep everything moderate. How often should I have moderate exercises? How can I judge if it is moderate or too much on my exercise? How can I judge if my exercise is too much or moderate? How can I tell about too much or moderate on my exercise? How can I tell too much or from moderate in my exercise? How can I tell about too much from moderate in my exercise? How often do you have moderate exercise? How frequently should I have moderate exercise? How frequently should I have moderate exercise? Moderate speed. My moderate speed of walking might be a little faster than that of others. How frequently should I have moderate exercise? How many days should I have moderate exercise in a week? How can I tell moderate from too much exercise? How can I tell about moderate from too much in my exercise? How can I tell moderate from too little exercise? How can I tell moderate from too little in my exercise? How can I tell moderate from too little in my exercise? How can I tell too much from moderate in my exercise. How can I tell apart moderate from too much in my exercise? I sometimes meet my rivals to stimulate myself as routine. As my monthly routine, I make it a rule to meet my rivals to stimulate myself and keep competitive so that I won't lose hungry spirit. In order that I won't lose hungry spirit. I met two elderly women who came to the lesson to stimulate their brain after retirement. I met two elderly people in the lesson who came there in order to stimulate their brain after the retirement. According to the entrepreneur, if the circulation of the book doesn't go beyond 2 million, he doesn't issue a book. The entrepreneur said that if the circulation of the book didn't surpass 2 million, he wouldn't issue a book. He wouldn't publish a book. The entrepreneur said that if the circulation of the book issued by him didn't reach 2 million, he wouldn't publish. The entrepreneur told that he would not publish a book if the circulation of it did not surpass 2 million. Thanks to the public transportations, the circulation of the economy is getting better. The circulation of our commutes got better. Thanks to many public transportations, the circulation of the commutes got better. Thanks to the public transportations, the circulation of our commutes got better. In the circulation from the production to the consumption by the customers. Everything should be environment friendly. The company touts the environment friendly circulation from the production to the consumption by the customers. The company touts the environment-friendly circulation of the product from the production to the consumption by the customers. The company touts the environment-friendly circulation of the product from the production to the consumption by the customers. The company touts environment-friendly circulation of the product from the production to the consumption of the by the customers. The company touts environment-friendly circulation of the product from the production to the consumption by the customers. The company touts environment-friendly circulation of the product from the production to the consumption by the customers. Is taking a shower helping to have a better blood circulation? Is having a shower helping to have a better blood circulation? What can I try to have a better blood circulation except for walking? What can contribute to the better blood circulation? To become a physician was my dream. To become an astronaut was my dream. To become an astronaut was my dream. To become a philosopher was my dream. To become a geologist was my dream. What made you wanna be a physician? What made you wanna be a physician? What made you wanna be a physician? It stems from my disease I developed when I was a kid. I had a really serious disease when I was a kid, and miraculously I've recovered from it. And I really appreciated my doctor, and since then I started to have the interest in the medicine world, and which is the reason why I wanted to be a physician in the past. But sadly, my score on the test didn't reach the level to become a doctor. My academic score didn't reach the level enough to become a doctor or enough to enter the University of Medicine. Besides that, I'm super clumsy, so it was a better decision to choose the different course other than the medicine. I still remember the affection from the physician when I was a kid. He treated me very well, and he encouraged me a lot with some humor. I still remember I got many encouraging messages from the physician when I developed the disease when I was a kid. I still remember the physician giving me many encouraging messages when I developed the disease when I was a kid. I often confuse the word physician and physicist. I often confuse the word physician with the physicist. The spell looks similar for me, so very confusing for me. I often confuse the word physician with the physicist. The spelling looks so similar, although the pronunciation is totally different though. The physician. Some patients break the rules, break the word which they made a promise with the physician. Some patients break the promise which was made with the physician. I did finish all of the tasks on my own last night. Please believe me, believe me, believe me. Believe it or not, I did see a ghost last night. Believe it or not, I met a post person in my dream. Believe it or not, I saw a ghost last night. Believe it or not, I did see a ghost in the office, in the toilet. If you do wanna be a professional, daily effort is vital. If you do wanna be a professional, daily effort is vital. If you do achieve the breakthrough, such a strong curiosity, which everyone else doesn't have, is a vital feature that you have to have. If you do achieve a breakthrough, tremendous curiosity into it is a vital element that you have to have. The food fighter did eat all of the served menu within the limited time in front of many audiences. He did eat 10 pieces of hamburger in front of us. He did finish all of the tasks stacked up on his desk in a day. Insane. No way. I do have the qualification. If you doubt me, I can go home to get it now. I do have a fever now. If you doubt me, I can take the temperature now. I do feel hungry. I do feel weird. I do feel sick now. Could you stop the car, please? I do feel weird. I do feel sick. I do have the driving license at home, but today I forgot to bring it to me. Bring it with me. Hmm. I do feel tired. I do feel tired. I do feel sick. I do have the qualification. I do have to go to the party. I do have to deliver a speech at the meeting today. I do have the appointment with the celebrity. I do make a promise. I do keep a word. Believe me. I do keep a word. I do return the money to you. I do return the money to you. I do make up for the loss. I do make up for it. I do compensate for that. I do apologize to you if I fail. I do assume responsibility for that. I do give apologies if I fail. I do assume responsibility for that if I fail. I do assume responsibility for that. I do hold responsibility for that if I fail. I do have to meet him at 10 o'clock 30 p.m. I do have to leave now. I do have to leave now. I do have to leave now. What do you usually do to stay in shape? To stay in shape? To remain in shape? In order to get into shape, what things should I do, including exercise? Maybe eating vegetables? And laughing a lot by watching comedy show? What things should I do in order to keep in shape? Keep in shape, remain in shape, stay in shape. If you want to get into shape, why not join our fitness club today with 20% discount off the annual fee? What else? What are you waiting for? If you want to get into shape, why not join our fitness club today with 20% discount of the annual fee? What are you waiting for? If you are eager to get into shape, why not take part in our fitness club today? If you are eager to get into shape, why not join our fitness club today with 20% discount of annual fee? Don't miss it up. Don't pass it up. Don't pass it up. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? If you want to get into shape, why not try our intensive course, which is offering 30% discount right now. Don't pass it up. Don't pass up good dealings today. Thank you. Thanks to my healthy lifestyle, including regular moderate exercise, eating healthy food, I've been in shape for time being. I've been in shape for the past 5 years. I have been in shape for the past 3 weeks. I have been in shape for the past 3 months. Thanks to my healthy lifestyle, including healthy food, regular moderate exercises, I have been in shape for the past 3 months. And some people make it a rule to walk every day to get into shape. I see some people walking outside with a pet dog or a cat. I see many people walking outside, maybe in order to get into shape, so as to get into shape. I see some people walking outside, maybe in order to keep in shape, stay in shape, remain in shape. Recently, I avoid eating snacks and sweets in order to get into shape. I caught a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold 3 weeks ago, about approximately, and I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I caught a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I caught a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I've gone through many nasty predicaments. Nasty predicaments. I've gone through many nasty predicaments, nasty situations. I've gone through and got through many nasty situations. I've got through many nasty problems. I've got through many nasty experiences. I've gone 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 through many nasty experiences. Nasty, 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 nasty. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago. I still haven't recovered from it. Nasty, nasty. Have you stayed up until morning? Have you stayed up and studied until morning? Have you stayed up and studied until morning, the day before the examination? Have you stayed up and studied until morning, the day before the examination? Have you stayed up and studied until morning? Have you stayed up until morning to have the party? Have you enjoyed yourself at the party until morning? Have you stayed up until morning for the party? Have you stayed up until morning at the party? Have you called? Have you stayed up until morning in order to finish something? Have you stayed up until morning so as to finish something? Something. Have you stayed up until morning so as to finish something? Finish something. Finish something. I caught a nasty cold about 4 weeks ago, or a month ago, and I still haven't recovered from it. I feel sleepy for I stayed up late last night. I feel sleepy now for I stayed up late last night to finish my thesis, to write my thesis, to work on my thesis. I feel a little bit sleepy for I stayed up until 2 o'clock a.m. I'm still feeling sleepy for I stayed up until 2 o'clock a.m. to work on my thesis, whose deadline is approaching, close at hand. I, I feel a little bit sleepy, for I stayed up until 2 o'clock a.m. to work on the thesis, whose deadline is approaching. Have you stayed up until 2 o'clock a.m. to study? Have you stayed up and studied until morning? Have you stayed up and studied until morning? I've gone through many nasty experiences. I've gone through many nasty events. I've gone through many nasty accidents. I've gone through many nasty situations. I've gone through many nasty situations. I've gone through many nasty diseases. I still have with some nasty diseases. I've been living with some nasty diseases. I've been living with some nasty diseases since I was born. I was born with nasty diseases. I've been still suffering from them. I've been still suffering from them. I've been still suffering from them. Nasty disease. I got a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't recovered from it. I caught a nasty cold about 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't recovered from it. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!